Good afternoon, and welcome to the 2020 In-House Counsel Award event. I'm Bill Geyer, publisher of Minnesota Lawyer, and I'll be your host today, along with Joel Shetler, our editor, and Tom Dixon, managing partner of Patterson Tente, who will be joining us shortly. For those of you who follow us regularly, you know Minnesota Lawyer works hard to provide you information you can use in your business. We're a media company built on innovation. And this afternoon, you're joining us for a Minnesota Lawyer virtual awards event. Thank you for taking time to support our honorees and for trying a new type of event that allows us to come together in a safe way. Each of you has an important role to play in today's live stream virtual event. As I said earlier, this is an interactive event. So post your cheers and shout outs to LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and use hashtag InHouse2020. You can also use the YouTube chat box to congratulate honorees and communicate with others in the audience. Sort of like talking to people at your table, but less distracting for those sitting next to you. Today, we honor achievement in the legal profession among in-house counsel. In a short while, you'll hear the impressive stories of the 21 individuals we're honoring today. But first, I must recognize our sponsors, whose participation underscores their support of those we honor today. Please join me in thanking these sponsors. Presenting sponsor, Patterson Tente, and our virtual celebration sponsors, Bassford Remley, Bridgewater Bank, Dorsey, Fairview Health Services, Fish and Richardson, Robert Half Legal, U.S. Bank, United Health Group, and Winthrop and Weinstein. Finally, we'd like to thank the distinguished panel who took time out of their busy schedules to help us select the individuals we're honoring today. I'd also like to thank all of the companies that are supporting today's honorees with congratulatory ads in the special awards publication and shout out videos you'll see in today's program. You'll find profiles of each of today's honorees in the special section inside Monday's edition of Minnesota Lawyer. When the event is in person, guests and honorees usually grab extra copies for family and friends. So please, let us know if you would like any extra copies. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce and welcome Joel Shetler, editor of Minnesota Lawyer and Finance and Commerce.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Joel Shetler, editor of Minnesota Lawyer and Finance and Commerce. The In-House Counsel Awards celebrate the achievements of attorneys at all levels, who, among other things, navigate complicated contract negotiations, defend their companies in high-stakes litigation, and defend some of the organization's most important assets. The Minnesota Lawyer team is proud to honor these stars of the legal industry. Each has demonstrated leadership in their chosen fields and have made positive impacts in their communities. Today's honorees come from a variety of backgrounds and education to land in their respective fields. They are determined, hardworking, and steadfast, not only in their careers, but in the ways they give back to their communities and families. What they have in common is a sense of passion and drive for what they bring to their careers and their lives that I believe is truly an inspiration to us all. Minnesota Lawyer, along with our partner sponsors, thank you all for joining us as we pay tribute to today's honorees. Remember, keep socially interactive with us by posting comments to hashtag InHouse2020. I would now like to introduce Tom Dixon, managing partner at Patterson Tente, to say a few words.
Thank you, Joel. On behalf of the attorneys and staff at Patterson Tente IP, I'm honored to welcome you to the 2020 Minnesota Lawyer In-House Counsel Awards, a virtual ceremony. We are delighted that you're here and look forward to recognizing some amazing Minnesota attorneys this afternoon. Our firm is proud to partner with Minnesota Lawyer on this award program for a second year. In-house attorneys deserve to be celebrated for the hard work they put in and important role they play in the success of their organizations. As outside counsel, we are so often inspired by their dedication, intelligence, and creativity of our in-house clients. A bit about Patterson-Tinty. We work with innovative companies and individuals locally and around the world. Our mission is to help them protect and profit from their ideas. Our attorneys assist clients with securing patent and trademark protection, development of IP strategies, litigation, including enforcement and defense, and another of other matters that relate to protecting their brands and innovation. Our full service approach allows us to be a partner to our clients in securing, managing, and enforcing their intellectual assets. We are proud of the successes that our clients achieve along the way. Patterson-Tinty applauds the recipients of the In-House Counsel Awards for their passion and achievement. Congratulations to this year's honorees. Now, back to Joel to get the program started.
Thank you, Tom. For today's program, we will be introducing the honorees in separate categories in alphabetical order. The first category will be Lifetime Achievement Awards.
U.S. Bank is the fifth largest commercial bank in America, which means Jim Chosey has a full plate. Jim runs the company's law division, which contains 250 employees. What's more, he devotes time to a number of projects outside of work, including being a champion of diversity among outside counsel. Jim also supports programs that promote well-being and mental health among lawyers. Minnesota Lawyer is proud to present the In-House Counsel Award for Lifetime Achievement to Jim Chosey.
Last year, I had a proud moment when I received some recognition from the National Association of Women Lawyers and their Lead by Example Award. And I very much viewed it as a team award, not an individual award, but just reflective of some of the work that we've done in that space. So that was a nice moment for me. I had a mentor who once said to me, Jim, you know, if you're too busy to enjoy life, you're just too busy. And I've always tried to keep that in mind. I like to remain reasonably physically fit and physically active. I like to run, I like to bike, I like to swim a little bit. And I've had the notion that I should put all three of those together and someday do a triathlon. I've been threatening to do one for a few years, but haven't done it yet. So one of these years I'm going to sign up and actually pull it off and see what I can do.
When she joined Ryan Companies in 2002, Mary Worrow's legal department was relatively small. Now it has 18 employees who work in construction, property management, design, building maintenance, and capital markets. Mary has also implemented insurance risk management for Ryan's construction projects. Her team handles about 65 real estate closings a year. Recently, those have included such ambitious projects as the Midtown Exchange in South Minneapolis. Mary says she loves the transforming effect a good real estate project can have. Minnesota Lawyer is proud to present the In-House Counsel Award for Lifetime Achievement to Mary Worrow.
Robert Half Legal is proud to sponsor the second annual In-House Counsel Awards. Congratulations to all of the honorees. You are each a force to be reckoned with, and we are honored to be in business alongside you and your amazing organizations. A big virtual cheers to you. Congratulations on all your accomplishments to date, and best wishes for many more years of success.
Congratulations, Jim and Mary. Next, we will honor those in healthcare.
Two staples of healthcare law are risk management and compliance with federal and state law. Trudy Trisla has wide experience dealing with all of that. She worked at Medtronic and Mayo Foundation before joining Fairview Health Services. Since joining Fairview, she's helped the organization through 4 CEOs, has supervised compliance function, and even filled in as Chief Human Resources Officer. Trudy also guided the company through mergers, acquisitions, and a difficult joint venture agreement. She says that being in-house means being ready to jump into any situation. Trudy does that and much more. Minnesota Lawyer is happy to present the In-House Counsel Award in Healthcare to Trudy Trisla.
When I think about achievements, I think about those circumstances where I've been able to make a meaningful impact to help providers, nurses, or doctors who are, providing, solutions to people's issues and healthcare concerns and life or death situations. It's those small things that aren't grandiose, but are really about helping patients or helping providers that are my greatest achievements. This particular individual was a mentor by example of how bringing your own personality, bringing your own perspective and style and humor can be a great leadership quality. And it's something that I think about a lot as, I lead various teams throughout the organization. Number one, to prepare for the unexpected. And by that, I mean, don't create a linear path to your next goal necessarily. You can have in mind what that is, but take the time to learn other areas of the law, to learn organizations, to meet people, to really dive into an area that you love, and that will prepare you for your next journey. And sometimes that opportunity presents itself at unexpected times or in unexpected ways.
As a young attorney, Kay Tuvison got used to being called a girl lawyer and being told that she would be better off working on wills and divorces. That only made Kay more determined to be a part of something truly meaningful in the legal world. Now she's senior counsel with Health Partners, where she's been for more than 2 decades. There she covers professional healthcare liability, litigation, healthcare ethics, professional state licensing board matters, and other medical legal issues. She's also actively involved in litigation, associating with outside defense counsel and independently handling cases. Not bad for a girl lawyer. Minnesota Lawyer is happy to present the In-House Counsel Award in Healthcare to Kay Tuvison.
As an in-house lawyer, it's so important to understand your company. What's its business? What does it do? What's its culture? Get a grasp on the internal politics that's always changing, not only your department's politics, but the politics of the company. What is it like? So you're ready for things and you can anticipate things. You've got to understand legal privilege, what you can and cannot do to protect that privilege for your company. You get a lot more things done by being nice and being compassionate. So be nice. I want to spend my time bringing a little joy and a little smile to those who need it with a furry friend. So I am going to get a puppy in 2 years. I'm already on a wait list for fall of 2022 to get a border collie poodle mix to be a therapy dog. And to train that dog, it'll take a couple of years before I can go into a facility with that dog. But to train that dog to help other folks with their emotional stresses that they experience in hospitals or nursing homes, not only helping the families, but helping the patients, the frontline staff, and the back house staff. Get my furry friend with his cold nose and make those visits and hopefully make somebody else's day a little brighter by just some puppy breath in their face.
Nancy Everett here with Health Partners. And Kay's Health Partners clients and colleagues are thrilled that Kay's been honored as a Minnesota Lawyer In-House Counsel of the Year. We all appreciate Kay's unfailing dedication to our organization, our members and patients, and her ongoing collaboration with colleagues throughout the community, especially in the litigation bar. Kay always brings her values of excellence, compassion, and fairness to every matter she works to resolve. And Kay's both a lifelong learner and a gracious mentor to others. We're very proud of Kay's long career with Health Partners and thankful that she's received this well-deserved honor. Congratulations, Kay.
Kay, on behalf of Bassford Rumley and all the lawyers at our firm you've worked with over the years, we want to congratulate you on being named Outstanding In-House Counsel in a Healthcare Organization by Minnesota Lawyer. You've shown what true loyalty looks like, having served as in-house counsel at Health Partners for more than 30 years. You're a role model in terms of your work ethic, your professionalism, your service to our profession, having served as the president of the Minnesota Defense Lawyers. So many of us have looked up to you over the years. So many of us have learned from you. And now we get to congratulate you. Congratulations, this is really well deserved.
Congratulations, Trudy and Kay. Now we will honor those in nonprofit or government organizations.
It was an indirect path, but a law student internship at the Metropolitan Airports Commission led to Cameron Boyd eventually becoming that body's general counsel. He oversees legal matters related to airport food, retail, and passenger service concessions, labor issues, litigation, and real estate leasing. Cameron also supervised the overhaul of the MSP airport, the biggest job in the Commission's history. It's clear that his career has taken flight and is enjoying clear skies. Minnesota Lawyer is proud to present the In-House Counsel Award for the nonprofit and government sector to Cameron Boyd.
Best advice I've received from a mentor is really just finding a way to be yourself. Find a way to be authentic in your leadership style, your management style, in the way that you give advice to your clients. Because if you're not coming off as authentic, no one's going to trust your advice or your judgment. I'm a hiker and a backpacker, and I've been hiking in the Grand Canyon and Glacier and Everglades and done lots of different things like that. And I want to do what's known as the rim to rim hike in the Grand Canyon, where you drop in on either the south or north rim, then go all the way across in one day. It's a pretty aggressive trip. I like to do that one time before I get too old and frail.
Over the years, federal tribal law has become a passion for Willie Hardiker, even though he's not Native American. 15 years ago, Willie became in-house counsel for the Shakopee, Mdewakan, and Sioux community tribal government. In that role, he oversees legal issues about the tribe's business holdings. Among many others, he was at the center of a deal that kept slot machines out of Canterbury Park. Minnesota Lawyer is proud to present the In-House Counsel Award for the nonprofit and government sector to Willie Hardiker.
What is the achievement that I'm most proud of? I think the longevity in my job speaks to the fact that I have consistently given good advice on a day-by-day basis on a myriad type of issues. I've been part of building a legal department for the Shakopee, Mdewakan, and Sioux community that consists of 9 people. There are 7 women and 2 men, and all but 1 person in the legal department is a person of color. So the fact that I've been at a place where I can help build a legal department of attorneys and support staff that really reflects the kind of community where I'm working in, and that's the Native American community. So I'm very proud of that fact as well. One piece of advice that I can point to that really sticks in my mind from a mentor comes from the very first attorney that I worked with. It was after my second year of law school, and I was clerking for a nonprofit organization called Central Legal. And the attorney there was a gentleman named Martin Diaz. And the advice that Marty Diaz gave me was, in our work as attorneys, we work towards perfection. We strive for perfection. And, over the years, that's advice that I give to the young attorneys that I work with as well. I was a member of the United States Peace Corps, and I served in the Peace Corps in a small country in West Africa called Guinea-Bissau, which is a former Portuguese colony. And I was an English teacher in West Africa in the Peace Corps.
St. Paul has undergone a renaissance in recent years. CHS Field, Treasure Island Center, and Beacon Bluff Business Center all went up with a big assist from the city's Port Authority. As the Port Authority's in-house counsel, Eric Larson played a big role in shaping those economic development projects. Eric estimates that the projects he's worked on, including 4 barge terminals, have created nearly 5,000 new jobs in St. Paul. Those projects have also increased the city's property tax base by about $10 million. Minnesota Lawyer is proud to present the In-House Counsel Award for the nonprofit and government sector to Eric Larson.
What professional achievement am I most proud of? It's actually the one that I'm in the middle of right now, and that is the Highland Bridge site redevelopment formerly known as the Ford site in St. Paul, Minnesota. And as most Minnesotans know, that particular location was the home for the Ford manufacturing plant for 100 years. But then Ford mothballed that plant approximately 6 years ago. So now that 122 acres, laid fallow. And now with Ryan Companies and my work as lead counsel on that redevelopment for and on behalf of the city, we're repurposing that 122 acres so that it will be home to almost 15,000 people with various mixed-use development from residential to commercial retail. An iconic redevelopment that obviously only occurs once every 100 years. Something that most people do not know about me. I'm a voracious reader, but what I like to read, in addition to mystery books and historical fiction, is cookbooks. I probably have over 100 cookbooks in my shelf, and I love to read them. They're actually great reading, at least in my view. And then I love to cook. I've had this dream for at least a decade. I would love to travel through all 50 states of the United States and travel in a meaningful way so that you really get to know the state, both geographically, culturally, obviously food-wise, and the attractions and the environment and so forth.
Congratulations, Cameron, William, and Eric. Next, we will recognize honorees for their work at private companies with revenues up to $500 million.
Not every in-house counsel's first task is to keep employees from going to jail, but Fred Daw has handled that and more. 16 years ago, Fred became General Counsel and Corporate Secretary for Comptroll Corporation. One of his first jobs was to help the company with a recent IRS raid and the sole director and CEO's flight from charges of tax evasion. On an everyday level, he works on contracts and intellectual property, advising on legal matters, and calling in experts when they're needed. Daw also sits on the boards of several organizations, including the Minnesota chapter of the Association of Corporate Counsel and the Minnesota District Export Council. Minnesota Lawyer is happy to present the In-House Counsel Award for private companies with revenues up to $500 million to Fred Daw.
The best advice that I've received from a mentor and advice that I have for someone following in my footsteps, those really go together, because the good advice that I have received and has been enhanced over the years is really the same advice I like to dispense now. To see how a company works is to see what the people are like, what the people think about the company and their jobs. And that's always been fascinating for me. It's funny, when I met my wife, one thing, as we started talking about travel, we both had longed for this, the overwater villas in Bora Bora that you see in a lot of pictures and a lot of different types of media. And when we started talking about places that we wanted to travel to, we both had a picture torn out of a magazine that was of these villas over the water that we wanted to go to. So hopefully that will actually be realized sometime in the next few years. Something people don't know about me, the picture behind me is called Lunch on a Skyscraper, and it's one of those pictures that is very popular. You see on a lot of walls in a lot of different places and in media, but it's a little closer than that for me, which is to say, I found out through my father that, let's see if I can point, this guy here is related to us. So that is a great uncle.
Allie McElroy started with a traditional law practice, but one of her clients made her rethink her role. Working with Snap Fitness, the local franchisor of fitness clubs, taught Allie that maybe she belonged in-house. She now works for Lift Brands, an umbrella organization created by Snap Fitness for its growing roster of businesses. You can bet that regardless of what she's working on, Allie hits the ground running. Minnesota Lawyer is happy to present the In-House Counsel Award for private companies with revenues up to $500 million to Allison McElroy. There aren't many Twin Cities lawyers who can drive around town and show you the buildings they've worked on. Dan West can. While he's not a part of a construction crew, Dan's work as an attorney for Doran Companies is still critical. He earned his spurs at Best Buy, where he worked on intellectual property and contract disputes. Dan's biggest project recently has been working on the sale and reorganization of Doran itself. During negotiations, he defined the roles of each member of his newly expanded department and made sure there was a smooth transition. Minnesota Lawyer is happy to present the In-House Counsel Award for private companies with revenues up to $500 million to Dan West.
The best advice that I received from a mentor, I think it was shortly after I started here at Doran Companies, and it was from Kelly Doran, who's our founder. And he says a lot that people need to think about contracts as a collection of experiences. And I've thought about that quite a lot since I've been here, and I found that it has really helped me both on our side as I'm drafting language for us, taking the experiences that we've had and translating them into language that we want in our contracts, but also in kind of understanding why it is that people on the other side of the table from us are trying to insert language into a contract for their own purposes, and trying to understand why it is that language is important to them. The best advice for someone who wants to follow in my footsteps, I think, would be to ask a lot of questions. One thing that I really like about being an in-house attorney is that you never really know what's going to come in your door day to day. And, there's all sorts of people here who are doing all sorts of things, and they all have, at some point or another, need for legal help. And so the best way to kind of get to the bottom of it, figure out what it is that they need and how you can help them, is you just got to ask a lot of questions. My favorite part about being in-house counsel is for our company, we build things. So, you can drive around town and you can see buildings that we build. It's very rewarding for me to feel like I'm a small part of helping to make that happen. My initial response was going to be that I would like to see the Vikings win a Super Bowl before I die. But I think that if I'm being more realistic, I've always wanted to learn to surf, and there's not tons of good surfing opportunities here in Minnesota. So I'm going to have to go somewhere to make that happen.
Congratulations, Fred, Allison, and Dan. The following honorees will be recognized for their work at private companies with revenues over $500 million.
Brooke Tassoni appreciates the variety of working as senior lawyer and regional litigation team lead at Cargill. That role means working on everything from a RICO case to dealing with pigeons that were disturbing salt piles at company plants. Brooke joined Cargill after a spell as a private practice litigator. She quickly found that her new job offered more life-work balance, as well as the freedom to see through projects from start to finish. Minnesota Lawyer is pleased to present the In-House Counsel Award for private companies with revenues over $500 million to Brooke Tassoni.
I once had a stint very recently, actually, on a hobby farm trying to make cheese. So that's maybe my biggest secret. Turns out I'm perhaps a better lawyer and city girl than I am a farmer, but it was a fun experiment. In working through issues and any environment, I think I remember one of my colleagues told me once, always remember to make your work about solving the problem and not about the extraneous circumstances like the politics or the relationships. And for me, that's been important to remember over the years, just to really, really keep your focus on the problem and the issue and what's best for the issue in the company. I guess I would say just you're probably best at being yourself. And I one of the things that I've seen over the years is in law, we're making room for all different kinds of people and people from all different kinds of backgrounds. And I think that's more true today than ever before. And I hope it's even more true in 20 years than it is today. I guess probably at Cargill, it's the creation of our litigation team. We moved from a group of generalist lawyers who kind of did one size fits all to really building a number of specialist teams in our department, litigation being one of them. And our team has really gone from being sort of new and fledgling to, I think, really a team of real experts. And feeling like we're really cemented and adding value, hopefully, every day. So I would say that's one of my best achievements, or certainly a team effort, our team's best achievements. I don't know if I should be revealing this publicly, but I do have this very deep desire to own a food truck. So maybe one day in retirement, I'll get to travel around and sling hash somewhere.
Congratulations, Brooke. The next honorees will be recognized for their work at public companies.
We all know the feeling of going to Target and leaving with way more than we planned to buy. But as Target Corporate Counsel, Dionne Blake always gives her clients more for their money. Dionne played a big role this spring in helping to manage Target's response to COVID-19. As a Black female lawyer, Dionne is a champion and advocate for all women, but especially for lawyers of color, both inside and beyond Target. She devotes time and effort to mentoring younger female and minority attorneys. Minnesota Lawyer is happy to present the In-House Counsel Award for Public Companies to Dionne Blake. While working in San Francisco, Courtney Enlow was called by a headhunter who wanted to steer her to 3M. She was dead set against until she visited the Twin Cities. At 3M, one of Courtney's first jobs was growing the litigation department to a team of about 30, including 8 attorneys. She has assembled a team that can work quickly and smartly during high-stakes litigation. Courtney says that her diverse, nimble team is the key to her success. Minnesota Lawyer is happy to present the In-House Counsel Award for Public Companies to Courtney Enlow.
What I'm most proud of, though, is building really good, highly functioning teams. I am so proud of our litigation team at 3M. It's to a person, smart, strategic, funny professionals that there's such a high level of trust with our group. I got advice years and years ago, and the advice was simple. It was just take risks first. And I think this is so important. You never lose your sense of self or your North Star. At the end of the day, you've got to live with yourself, and you should never compromise your values. And the last is have a sense of humor. You have to keep your sense of humor. Every single job posting that we have, you always have the obvious requirements, but any one of mine always will have sense of humor, because these jobs are tough. And if you don't have that, it makes it not easy. So always recommend you keep that.
Karen Gallivan is a lawyer with an engineer's mind. That mix comes in handy at Graco, where her practice leads her to areas such as trade compliance, corporate governance, environmental compliance, and product safety. Karen's versatility means she's looked up to for top-level planning that might have nothing to do with lawyering. That includes the hot issue of drug pricing and other areas of market dynamics. Minnesota Lawyer is happy to present the In-Counsel Award for Public Companies to Karen Park Gallivan.
There are probably a few things people don't know about me, but the one that I would highlight is that I studied dance in college. I choreographed a musical, and later I considered becoming a professional dancer. So I'd like to design and build a new cabin, and we're actually in the midst of doing that. I've got an art studio, and I hope to use that for oil painting. I want to take piano, hip hop, and probably woodworking classes. And I'd like to teach my grandson how to drive a boat. He's only one right now, so it's going to be a little while. So it's definitely out there and on the bucket list, but it's something I'd really like to do.
Karen, congratulations from all of your friends at Winthrop & Weinstein. Here is a special message from one of your biggest fans.
Congratulations, Karen, on this well-deserved recognition and wonderful honor. You are such a wonderful, marvelous person to work with. You're strategic, you're innovative, you're practical. Your can-do attitude is inspirational. It's been an honor and pleasure to work with you, and we're very happy to be here to celebrate with you on this wonderful occasion.
At SPS Commerce, Boyd Johnson has a team that's pretty lean for a multinational public company. With just himself, a part-time attorney contractor, and a legal intern, Boyd helps process about 2,800 sales contracts every month. To make sure that gets done, he spends a lot of time educating SPS's sales team about contract terms and conditions and redrafting forms. Boyd has also shepherded 9 corporate acquisitions for the company. Minnesota Lawyer is happy to present the In-House Counsel Award for Public Companies to Boyd Johnson.
What professional achievement am I most proud of? Sometimes for me, the typical path isn't the best one. For me, my legal career launched when I went to Norway. I didn't know the culture, the language, or the landscape, but I was determined to tune my legal and my business skills and succeed. By stepping out of my comfort zone and taking the road less traveled, I not only jump-started my career, but also tested myself. The best advice I've received from a mentor is that I'll be successful in the general counsel role through making myself approachable and building relationships, and not by creating policies requiring employees to seek my advice. He could not have been more right. It really taught me that it's not just to be the lawyer, but also to be the business partner sought out to help the business team overcome obstacles and grow their business. Something most people don't know about me is I can ride a unicycle. I have the standard unicycle and a 6-foot unicycle. And when I was 8 years old, I saw a unicycle on a parade, and I said, I'm going to do that. And so I convinced my parents to buy me one, which was an exercise that made me realize I would make a good lawyer. I learned how to ride it, and I rode my unicycles in talent shows and in parades around the Twin Cities for many years growing up.
Fraudulent foreign trademarks are a big problem for any major retailer, including Target. Stephen Lee, Target's Assistant General Counsel for Intellectual Property at Target Corp., is doing something about it. He recently testified before the Senate Committee on the Judiciary Subcommittee for Intellectual Property about the issue. He helps Target keep ahead of the fraudsters so the company doesn't have to rush new trademarks to market while competing with bogus brands. Minnesota Lawyer is happy to present the In-House Counsel Award for Public Companies to Stephen Lee.
Congratulations to Stephen Lee. You've been a cornerstone at Target for 17 years. You should be proud of the great work you've done for Target and for the impressive impact you've made with your recent U.S. congressional testimony. For those of you watching, you might not know how great Stephen is to those working under his supervision. Often when I'm speaking with others at Target, I'll be briefly interrupted so they can note how much they enjoy him and his contagious smile. He truly is an example of servant leadership, a feat worthy of celebrating too. For that, Fish is delighted to see Stephen recognized for this award.
Hi, this is Chris Hoff at Fish & Richardson, giving a big shout out and congratulations to Stephen Lee. On top of building and directing a top-notch IP department at Target, Stephen's been at the forefront to help improve the U.S. trademark system to curb trademark abuse and fraud. Stephen's efforts over the past year have included personally raising these issues and solutions with members of Congress, the executive branch, directors at the U.S. Trademark Office, as well as testifying before Congress. Thank you, Stephen, for all you've done, and congratulations.
Sandra Novak understands the value of innovation and the importance of protecting it. She specializes in intellectual property law at 3M and is now Chief IP Counsel for its Consumer Business Group. In that role, Sandra leads the attorneys who handle patent filings, litigation, licensing, copyrights, and other IP work. She also helped come up with a patent strategy for a deep learning software development team. That group partners with outside experts to get patents filed quickly and protect technology in as many countries as possible. Minnesota Lawyer is happy to present the In-House Counsel Award for Public Companies to Sandra Novak.
Well, I think so far, one of the things I am most proud of is the work that I've been able to do with others around the world on the topic of diversity and innovation. And in times like these, when, especially in COVID times, we're separated sometimes in person, it's really exciting to get to work on an issue across company boundaries, across geographic boundaries. I mean, it's a great time to really work on something meaningful together. I am 5 feet tall, which everyone in these COVID times who meets me online does not know.
I would not have guessed it.
But everyone who's met me in person immediately knows. But what they don't know is that at 5 feet tall, I am the tallest woman in my family. So what is on my immediate bucket list is to go scuba diving with my 10-year-old son. Right before COVID in February, he passed the scuba diving test, and he has wanted to go scuba diving since he was 4 because I dive.
Mary Ann Short knows that sometimes the best legal work can be done with collaboration, even with competitors. Mary Ann is Group Executive Vice President and Chief Legal Officer for United Health. During the pandemic, she's been in touch with in-house counsel at other healthcare organizations, often with daily conference calls. Mary Ann's department manages litigation, regulatory disputes, and numerous acquisitions. Her background as a judge on the Minnesota Court of Appeals has equipped her to facilitate dialogue during turbulent times. Minnesota Lawyer is happy to present the In-House Counsel Award for Public Companies to Mary Ann Short.
Chief Judge Peter Pavlovich, I learned a lot from, and Chief Judge Wozniak, Don Wozniak, I learned a lot from. Judge Foley, Judge Foley sat in the southern part of the state and was a real hands-on, pretty strong judge, as you would probably remember. And he had strong opinions about things and would always talk about it in a very practical sense. What did I learn from all of that? I learned how different, there isn't one type that makes a good judge. There are a lot of different skill sets, but one of the most important ones is just the humanity part. The fact that they understood the challenges that everyday citizens have and that they wanted to do the right thing. So it wasn't about the power of the job, it was more about the curiosity of how the challenges came up and the sort of drive to do the right thing. And that was from all of the judges I sat with and frankly, the ones I appeared before, even if they were ruling against me on something. As you know, it's never one person, it is a lot of people. So the firm, I was lucky to be, again, I talked about how I was blessed with good colleagues on the bench. I had great mentors and others at the firm as well. It was, it was a good experience. I think most people would not know that I was actually an athlete and love sports. So I ski hard in Colorado. Arapahoe Basin is my favorite place because my son works there. I played basketball in high school and college, center position, and was really quite good because I had some experience learning from some professional players that were friends with my father's. Yeah, that's right. And the basketball skill set was so bad that my 2 boys, who are quite athletic in many things, neither one of them went into basketball because in a hoop in our driveway, I was able to shoot from anywhere, backwards, forwards, sideways, or ups and down, and it was too humiliating, so they didn't choose to go in. So I was brutal in the horse game.
The permit process for the Enbridge Line 3 replacement project has been one of the most protracted regulatory cases in recent memory. James Watts has been at the forefront of that process on behalf of Enbridge. As in-house counsel, he's gone to dozens of town halls and public hearings. While exploring the project's legal issues, he's also heard from witnesses, both for and against the pipeline. James says he likes to have one foot in both the public and regulatory worlds. Minnesota Lawyer is happy to present the In-House Counsel Award for Public Companies to James Watts.
I'm very proud of the project that we've been working on, Line 3 replacement here in Minnesota. This project has certainly been an important one, not only for our company, but I think for the industry. We've done it the right way. We've really been diligent about our permitting, about our outreach to the public, about making sure that the process is followed, that we've extended a number of good opportunities to the communities that we've been living in and working with for a number of years. We've also made sure to include a diverse population in our project as well. We've made certain opportunities open to minority groups, tribal groups across the state of Minnesota. The best advice I've ever been given by a mentor was really simple: just take time. Something that most people don't know about me, running I would say, very amateurish senior men's hockey league here in Duluth for a number of 30, 40, 50-year-old men that have nothing better to do than try to avoid bumps and bruises, but play a little hockey on the weekends.
Congratulations, Dion, Courtney, Karen, Boyd, Stephen, Sandra, Marianne, and James. The final group of honorees are being recognized as Rising In-House Counsel Stars.
As the son of a banker, Ben Clockey wasn't sure he wanted to walk in those footsteps. He ended up sort of doing so anyway. In the 3 years since he joined Bridgewater Bank as general counsel, Ben has helped guide one of the fastest-growing banks in Minnesota. He played a key role in the bank's move from a private entity into the public market 2 years ago. That meant helping with the bank's first 10K filing, overseeing SEC-mandated filings, and more. Minnesota Lawyer is pleased to present the In-House Counsel Rising Star Award to Ben Clockey.
The professional achievement I'm proudest of was to be part of the team that helped Bridgewater Bank Shares complete its initial public offering in 2018. Together with Bridgewater's very talented leadership, finance, and legal teams, together and our outside counsel and auditors, we undertook an extensive multi-year process to prepare for the IPO, to execute the IPO, and then really just to navigate the post-IPO waters. It's been a lot of fun being part of this team, and it was a great accomplishment for Bridgewater Bank. Some of the best advice I received was from my first mentor. She taught me that while it's important to be a good technical lawyer, it's just as important to be practical and creative. As a new lawyer, it was tempting to only focus on the legal question in front of me, and she taught me that it was my job to keep broad perspective and identify the solution my client was looking for rather than the simple, direct answer to the legal question in front of me.
Hey Ben, congratulations.
Congratulations, Ben. Awesome pleasure to get to work with you.
Congratulations on the award, Ben.
Congratulations, Ben. Bridgewater's lucky to have you.
Hi Ben. Just wanted to wish you a congratulations on being recognized as a rising star. We're so proud of you.
Regis Corporation has been in a time of change, and Amanda Rusin has been helping make that change happen for the hair salon giant. As Senior Vice President and General Counsel, Amanda is working toward converting nearly all of its corporate-owned salons to its franchisees. The company will also focus more on Regis-owned proprietary label hair care brands. Amanda augments her work in Regis's procurement division, which serves its thousands of salons, real estate, internal audit, and risk and insurance divisions. Minnesota Lawyer is pleased to present the In-House Counsel Rising Star Award to Amanda Rusin.
Ask as many questions as you can and get to learn and experience as much of the business as possible. For example, I have made multiple salon visits at Regis. I try to get out and visit our franchisees. I try to get out and visit our suppliers. When I was at Polaris, I even worked the line up in Roseau, so I understood how motorcycles were made, visited dealers. So the more, tore down vehicles. So the more that you can understand the product, the service, the people, anything that goes into who you are supporting, the better counselor you're going to be. Keep exploring your passions and lawyers don't always have to be lawyers for the rest of your careers. I find lawyers tend to be some of the smartest and most analytical people, and be open to other opportunities. I stepped away from the law for a year at Cargill and ran a small business unit there. And I've been given expansive, call it non-core or non-traditional legal roles. And I've really enjoyed that. And so just keep close to your clients, keep those possibilities open, and you never know where life will lead you.
Congratulations, Ben and Amanda. And congratulations to all of the 2020 in-house counsel honorees. And thanks to all of you. Your presence here today reinforces the impact that these honorees have had on the companies they represent, the people they work with, and the community they call home. Their stories are truly inspiring and set a wonderful example for us all. Please join me in acknowledging again their successes. Before we go, I'd like to thank our sponsors one more time. Presenting sponsor, Patterson Tente IP, and thanks Tom for helping us host this great event. We also thank all of our virtual celebration sponsors, Bassford Remley, Bridgewater Bank, Dorsey, Fairview Health Services, Fish and Richardson, Robert Half Legal, U.S. Bank, United Health Group, and Winthrop & Weinstein. Honorees, if you'd like to purchase a reprint of your profile in Monday's paper, look for an email from Lisa Arnold or contact me directly. Remember, if you'd like to post photos of your celebration or of you and your award, use the hashtag InHouse2020, and we can share them on social media. On behalf of Minnesota Lawyer, thank you for helping us celebrate our 2020 in-house counsel honorees. Have a wonderful day.